So I hadn't uploaded this here um, on YouTube, but I think the last time is I just had the head and the block out of the body. But I had started to come up with, being a little bit more ambitious to try to recreate the interior and the exterior of the store. So don't mind the silly outfit, but so yeah, getting the scale appropriate for the trusses and making sure everything there was accurate took a bit. Obviously, nothing is textured. This would have been like where the registers are, and these beams are just overlapping for now. But so I only have so many photos, and I have aerial views of the current building, but there's it's probably not quite as wide as the real thing. Um, and then I remember like there was a back section here that you could go and then like around to behind a wall where they had aquarium stuff. So I'm just kind of for the interior. I'm not gonna be as meticulous so much as just having a general layout. The exterior I will be. But right now this is modeled in VR, and obviously it's only going to have a certain level of, resolution and rendering. Like what you see right here is basically what you get, and I can texture things better in the beams, but this was pretty accurate. It took me a while to kind of get the scale of these beams and like his position in them, which he could probably go a little further back, because I know he's like in between a couple of these, but at certain photo angles you can see that his head is. I remember thinking that as a kid that it looked like his head was gonna hit the beam. So that's what's up in meta right now, but I actually have further work done. So this is actually what's going on now as far as like getting these lamps modeled and whatnot. But again, this is just in the viewport, is not what it actually will be, which is, this is a rendering which isn't, fully set up with its, full capability. But you can see how different that looks with some lighting effects and just how the surfaces look without texture. In this particular, this isn't a final sculpt, this is just like a model that I brought in for scaling. But you can see how good this will look when ideally what I plan to do is rig and render, full body, maybe get the skeletons in there, put some stuff in the background model of the aisles and whatnot, and then I'll have, I'll be able to at least animate this and it'll look like this. So basically a CG kind of walkthrough or experience of seeing what it was like. VR won't necessarily look this good, obviously, but try like. But you can see in here I did color that, so just very basic, just for reference background. But let's see if we can get like a nice low shot. Lower point of view, and then we'll re-render here just to get an idea. But you can imagine that with the proper lighting setup and everything going on in here, that would be pretty cool to have an animated sequence, which will take a bit to render. I mean, that's something that would take days, even for like a 30-second clip, probably, when it's all said and done. So, but yeah, I just figured I was getting a little bit more ambitious, and I haven't really had time to play with this. So I thought that I would share this because I hadn't put it on YouTube yet. As far as the desire to actually go ahead and recreate the interior and exterior, I'm looking forward to modeling the outside, which shouldn't be too bad for me to do. It's the interior that is tricky because we only have so many photos. Like, I could look up the square footage, but then you have to consider the warehouse, which was in the back here. But luckily the building does still exist, so using aerials and outside views is I'll be able to fully model the outside, whether the inside is perfect or not. But yeah, hopefully I can get back and work on this. My attention to detail is obviously really high with this. I mean, even just doing the lamps and photo matching and stuff, and obviously, you know, how long the sculpt has taken or is taking to get that as close as possible. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's what's going on in the CG realm and VR worlds of Oscar and Switz's, and you can visit this even if you just have a cell phone. If you go to Oscar Switz's test, Oscar _ Switz's _ test. If you have a Quest and you just want to experience an early beta kind of under construction version, just to get an idea of the scale, is really cool, especially if you grew up with this.